Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. Thanks so much for the few Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And as a Patreon, you have access to exclusive Patreon reviews. And I think I have about 40 now in the archives, and I do one or two a month. So check that out. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. So today, as promised, I'm going to be giving an overview and picking my favorite of the Costco Kirkland Tour of Scotland little mini variety pack for 200 milliliter bottles that in my area cost around $52. But some of the commenters have said that they found it for as low as $40. So that's awesome. So I've reviewed all of these. I'm not going to compare the most recent review that I did on the non-age stated Islay. It's probably from Kalila. And the only reason I'm not going to compare that is because it's peatier. It's peated, and none of the other ones are. So it wouldn't really be a fair comparison. So check out my review on each one of these for more in-depth. So, starting off with the Lowland. Nice nose. Very nice. The Lowland is non-age stated, and it comes across a bit more spirity and a bit lighter, which you would expect from a Lowlands. Then we have the Highland 12-year-old. Now all of these are 46% ABV. Okay, so the Highland 12-year-old. I have my little trusty glass of water here. Compared to the Lowland, the nose is more prominent. A little brown sugar in there, some herbaceousness. Again, I'm not going to go, this is not a review, this is kind of like an overview. Very nice. And then, last but not least, the 10-year-old Speyside. Little sip of water. Out of the nose on all three of these, they pretty much are in the order they have them here. So you're looking at from left to right. The Lowland, nice nose, but it's less prominent than the Highland. And the Highland, although nice, is less prominent than the Speyside on the nose. So the Speyside 10-year-old on the nose, it's more richer and more dense. Very, very nice. They're all very nice. So in my original reviews, I scored the Islay, non-age stated Islay, a 5. And I call it average in a good way. I scored the Lowland a 6, meaning good. And I scored both the Highland 12 and the Speyside 10. I gave them both a 7. My overall favorite, so those, I'm sticking to those scores. So you're asking, all right, John, if the Highland 12 gets a 7 and the Speyside 10 gets a 7, do I have a favorite? I'm really enjoying them all. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be the overall, the Highland 12. I'll still stick to my score, but out of the set, for me, the Highland 12 offers a little more mild complexity than the other ones. And then when I first reviewed the Lowland, I compared it to the separate bottle that Costco sells. So they sell a Kirkland non-age stated Lowland in a full bottle, and which I have a sample port here. I have 2 bottles coming on the way, but I don't have the full bottle to show you. So I've never been into a Costco, as far as I know, probably ever. But a friend of mine who makes the rounds, who's in my whiskey group, turned me on to the single bottle of the Lowland, which I really, really like, which is different than what they offer in the sample pack. So I don't know if they have a separate bottle for the Highland and a separate bottle for the Speyside and a separate bottle, I mean full-size bottles now, for the Kalila or the Islay. All I can say is that from my experience, out of all these, the separate bottle, full-size bottle of the Lowland is probably my favorite out of all these sets. And the full bottle only costs, I think, $26 to $27 for a full-size bottle. And I have 2 bottles coming on the way. That's so nice. So they're all so quaffable, so drinkable. So when I actually get the bottle, I'll give that a separate review, and I'll probably compare it to this Lowland. But I'm just curious. Again, I can't remember ever going to a Costco. I don't belong to that membership. But if they do sell full-size separate bottles of the Highland 12 or the Speyside 10 or the non-age stated Islay, I would like to know that, because maybe they're the same, or maybe they're completely different offerings, like the Lowland is. I don't know. Stay tuned for my next show, because Matt from Whisky on the West Coast has challenged me for the, which you've seen a lot of other YouTubers do, but my next review will be picking my favorite Scotch from each of the regions, okay, in Scotland. So Lowland, Campbelltown, Highland, Speyside, and Islay. And according to Dave Broom, in one of his books over here, which I'll be talking about, he actually says the 6 regions, and one of those are the islands, which I do agree with. So I will be giving my favorite Scotch bottle of each of the regions, including the islands. So if you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, consider becoming a Patreon. It really helps. Hats off to you all, and take care, folks.